Today, we're going to deconstruct the hidden script behind financial success. And trust me, it is not what you think. We're going to uncover the invisible patterns that separate the people who feel in control of their money from those who feel controlled by their money. And here's the kicker. It has almost nothing to do with their income.
So let's dive right into this, because this quote, it's really the key to everything we're talking about today. What if the path to financial stability isn't really a math problem, but a story? A narrative with a hero, a villain, and a really powerful plot. Well, today, we're going to break down that exact plot, scene by scene.
You see, the most popular financial advice you see online, it isn't just a list of tips. It follows a classic story structure. There's a hero, and that's you, a conflict, a journey of discovery, and of course, a final resolution. And it hooks us because it feels so familiar, kind of like a movie that you just can't stop watching. But the plot of this story isn't about some secret stock tip or a get-rich-quick scheme. No way. It's about a deep, fundamental shift in how you see the world. So, we're going to explore this story's core conflict, look at the invisible forces at play, go on the hero's psychological journey, map out their action plan, and see what the ultimate prize is at the end. Every great story needs an inciting incident, right? A moment that just shatters our assumptions. In our financial story, that moment begins with a really surprising comparison that shows income, the one thing we all focus on, is not the deciding factor in who actually wins with money.
So check this out, because this is where we see a fascinating paradox. In the same city, maybe even the same neighborhood, one person is earning almost double what the other one does, but they have a tiny fraction of the financial security. One person has a lifestyle that needs every single dollar just to keep it going, while the other, they've built this fortress of calm. This isn't a story about income, it's a story about a hidden script.
And that's what this shows us. The real divide isn't between high and low earners. It's between people who see money for what it is and those who are controlled by all these unconscious feelings about it. At the end of the day, financial success is way less about the number on your paycheck and way more about the invisible rules you choose to live by.
Now, every story has forces that shape its world, right? Think of it like gravity or magic in a fantasy novel. Well, in your financial story, the two most powerful and often invisible forces you have to understand are interest and inflation. They are always at work 24/7, either for you or against you.
And this question, it really gets to the central choice you have to make. Compound interest is one of the most powerful forces in the universe. Seriously. But whether it builds you a fortune or digs you into a deep, dark hole depends entirely on one simple thing. Who is collecting it, you or someone else?
Getting this dual nature is the absolute first step to taking control. When you're earning it through investments, it's like your money makes clones of itself, and then those clones start making their own money. It's incredible. But when you owe it on high-interest debt, it's a relentless foe that literally never sleeps. So yeah, interest can be your best unpaid employee or your absolute worst enemy.
Okay, the second invisible force is inflation. I like to call it the silent thief. It's that feeling when you open a bag of chips and it feels like it's half empty, but you paid 30% more than you did last year. Your money isn't becoming worthless overnight, it's just quietly losing its power. And the only way to beat this slow erosion is to make your money work harder for you through investing.
All right, so let's get back to the hero's journey, because this is where the real transformation happens. And it's not about mastering some complicated budgeting app. It's about a deep, internal psychological shift in how you relate to money itself.
People with real financial control aren't emotionless robots. They've just trained themselves to see money differently. For them, a savings account isn't deprivation, it's power. They recognize when they want to buy something just because they had a bad day, not because they actually need it. And they prioritize the invisible strength of a healthy bank account over the visible status of a flashy new car.
And this quote just nails the core of that mindset shift. They prioritize durability. They want to be able to take a few bad months on the chin without panicking. It's a huge change from a lifestyle that just looks good on social media to one that is genuinely resilient against the chaos of, real life.
Okay, so you get the psychology, but how does our hero actually put this new mindset into action? It's not through vague promises to do better. It's with a clear, practical set of rules that start to change your behavior almost automatically.
So, rule number 1 is a super simple piece of math that completely reframes what expensive really means. Before you buy anything, just divide its price by the number of times you'll realistically use it. I'm telling you, this one little calculation has the power to destroy most of your impulse buys.
Just think about it like this. A trendy jacket you wear twice actually costs you $100 every time you put it on. But a high-quality timeless jacket you wear for years, that might only cost you $2 per wear. So the jacket that costs more up front is actually 50 times cheaper in any way that really matters.
All right, rule number 2 is a question, and I want you to ask this about pretty much everything you already own. Just walk through your house, look at your stuff, and be brutally honest with yourself. If this thing vanished overnight, would I actually go out and spend my hard-earned money to replace it?
Now, if the honest answer is no, then that item has negative value. It's not just sitting there, it's actively costing you. It costs you physical space, it costs you mental energy, and it keeps you from a cleaner, more focused life. This isn't about depriving yourself. It's about removing the psychological weight of owning a bunch of stuff you don't even really want. And finally, our hero is smart. They know that willpower is a muscle, and that muscle gets tired. So instead of relying on it, they engineer their environment to make the right choice the easy choice. They add friction to spending, like deleting saved credit cards from websites. And they make saving totally effortless through automation. That way, when you're tired or stressed, your environment will save you from yourself.
So after all of this, after the mindset shifts, the new rules, what is the ultimate prize? What's the real resolution to this whole story? I can tell you it's not about a giant pile of cash or a garage full of fancy cars. It's something much, much more valuable.
The prize is optionality. It's freedom. The freedom to make choices based on your values, not your financial situation. Can you leave a job you hate? Can you handle a sudden emergency without panicking? Can you say no to things? That's why every dollar you save or invest isn't just a number. It's you buying back a piece of your own freedom. It's a vote for your future self.
And there is one asset that is more powerful than any other in getting you that freedom. It's not luck, and it's not even income. It is the #1 most valuable asset you have, and that is time. Wealth isn't built in a few days. It's built over decades by letting your money and your time work together.
And that brings us right back to the beginning. That story of the 2 apartments proves it. You don't need to earn more to win this game. You just need a better script. The choice between being owned by your possessions and owning your own future, that's a choice available to everyone, no matter what their paycheck says.
Ultimately, you are both the hero and the author of your own financial story. You get to decide the plot, you get to decide the action, and you get to decide the resolution. The only question left is, what's your ending going to be?